everybody. Good morning to you. Meteorologist Travis Klineski here on this Monday morning where weak high pressure sits right about here. It's kind of a broad area that sits over Nebraska and down into central Kansas this morning. Kind of covers a large area, but the winds are fairly light around that high. They've picked up just a little bit out west here out of the south, up enough anyway that temperatures aren't quite as cold here, but most of us are seeing some of the coldest temperatures that we have seen since back in February. So it's been a while since we've been down in the teens, even a few spots down in the single digits this morning. We've got a lot of thin clouds around, thin upper level clouds. Other than that, though, I think we'll see plenty of sun today as we check out things on Futurecast here. A good amount of sun. South winds will begin to pick up. I think the lighter winds in the east mean it's going to stay a little colder here, where there's a little bit more of a breeze. Temperatures a little bit warmer. Warmer the farther west you go, especially on the other side of that warm front right there. That's where the really good stuff is going to be for today. The good news is that warm front is pushing east across the area tonight. We'll see an increase in cloud cover for a time. That's also going to keep temperatures up. And in fact, I think most locations will bottom out around midnight and then rise a little bit towards sunrise. So it's already going to be a better night tonight, but temperatures will actually be even better by this time tomorrow. Looking to the north, there is a weak cold front. Might cool things back slightly on Wednesday, but Tuesday is going to be a warmer day, a breezy northwest wind. Looking pretty good for Tuesday, even despite that front coming through. A lot of sunshine after some early clouds. Tomorrow night's not too bad, maybe a slight chill, but nothing like what we see out there this morning anyway. Pretty quiet weather. And then we're going to see the nice temperature sticking around really most of the rest of this week. It looks really nice here. Let's take a look at those temperatures. We'll start off with those highs for today. Wide ranging. Upper 30s and lower 40s in eastern Nebraska. 60s to near 70 in the panhandle. That warm front makes a difference. But even here, not bad. Upper 50s around Ogallala and Imperial. Low 50s for the Highway 83 corridor. Mid to upper 40s in central Nebraska, north central Kansas. And again, upper 30s and lower 40s over eastern Nebraska. Let's take a closer look at some of the communities near you. We'll start off in the northwest. Could be near 60 in Gordon today. We're going to go 51 in Tryon, 52 Valentine. North central Nebraska, not quite as warm. Mid 40s around Atkinson at 45, 46 degrees in Burwell. Southwest areas, how about 61 in Benkelman? 58, not bad in Imperial and Ogallala. 51 for North Platte and Cambridge. 48 for Elma. 46 in Smith Center, Minden, Loop City. 45 in all those locations, 46 in Franklin. Looking at southeastern areas, maybe struggling to 40 here. We're going to go upper 30s around Auburn and Plattsmouth. 40 in Syracuse. 41 for Lincoln. 43 Hebron, as well as in Sutton. 44 for Grand Island, St. Paul, Central City, Aurora, Superior at 44 degrees. And finally, northeastern areas, upper 30s. Had some snow on the ground on Saturday morning here. 37 in Ponca, 38 Wayne, 40 in Norfolk, 43 Albion. Bartlett really also at 43 degrees, same thing for Fullerton. So again, we're starting to do better today, especially out west. It's going to get a lot better in the days ahead. Not as cold tonight. We're not going to see the teens. We're talking 30s for most places, maybe some upper 20s in eastern Nebraska, some 40s, some low 40s out west, and a lot of these locations will see temperatures nudge back up after midnight tonight. So our lowest temperature may actually come during the middle of the night instead of around sunrise like it typically happens. Much better for Veterans Day Tuesday. Highs up into the 60s, maybe even a couple of lower 70s right in here. Tomorrow night, not bad. Upper 20s, low to mid 30s. Another decent day on Wednesday, 60s, near 60 up to the north here around O'Neill, 58 in Yankton, 59 Sioux City. That's where the coolest weather will be, but a lot of 60s and near 70 in Norton, Kansas. Tomorrow night, mid to upper 30s and lower 40s, not bad. Looking ahead to our Thursday, we bump temperatures up a little bit, mid to upper 60s and lower 70s. Thursday and Friday look like two of our better days ahead of us here as we take a look at our long-range forecast here. You'll see the mild weather to come after today, looking really good through the rest of this week. Again, Thursday and Friday, two of our best days ahead. Saturday, a few more clouds, maybe slightly cooler. There's also going to be a chance of some light rain. As of right now, I don't think it looks like anything significant. We'll show you that in models here in just a bit. We do cool down starting on Sunday. It looks like we will trend a little chillier going into next week as we return to the 40s and some places maybe even into the 30s once again. Although there are some question marks with that, I will tell you that right now. But our in-house forecast model is trending cooler. Again, after 50s, low 50s today, or maybe near 50, we're back up into the 60s to near 70 the rest of this week. So looking really good. Thursday and Friday, 2 of our nicest days. Saturday, a few more clouds, slight chance of rain, a little cooler yet on Sunday, but the sunshine does return. But again, temperatures do look to trend downward going into the beginning of next week. And so this is why, part of the reason why I don't really agree with the Climate Prediction Center. They have us basically looking at a big dip in the jet stream to our west, and then a big rise there, approximately. I'm a little iffy on that. Maybe move it just a little bit to the east there, but maybe I drew it a little too far west. But big dip there, and then the rise. So, but anyway, I'm a little iffy on us being that warm next week, especially for the first half of the week. But again, models are split right now, and I'm also very iffy on moisture next week. They have most of the country with above average precipitation, and right now I'm not seeing anything, at least through the first half of next week. And I've even been looking at long range models, and I don't really see anything. Maybe late next week, we'll see. But so let's look at the next 10 days from the European forecast model. There's not a lot to show you really until we get to Saturday, so I'm going to jump ahead. So here's that slight chance of rain on Saturday. Better chances to the south and east. Maybe Saturday night as well. But again, does not look like a big issue right now. Beyond that, maybe around the middle of next week, but I'm not seeing a ton of moisture, but maybe around, again, Wednesday to Thursday. And of course, the European is trending a little cooler because of this when it comes to the temperatures, showing some pretty chilly air coming around the middle of next week. Let's look at the GFS models to look at some similarities and differences now. I'm going to kind of skip forward to Friday and Saturday here because there's not a lot of active weather this week. So again, Saturday, there's our rain chance. Again, just like the European, I don't think it's a great chance. Better chances to our south and east. So I really don't want to go any higher than a 20 or 30% chance of rain right now. Canadian model has some, which I don't have access to the Canadian model that far out in time. Once we get beyond that, again, we trend a little cooler, but the GFS does not have that midweek storm system next week like the European does. So that's why right now I would be very hesitant to really talk too much about that. But looking at temperatures here, this is the European model. Again, we're cold today, getting better, much, much better tomorrow. Slight cool down Wednesday, but then Thursday, Friday look really nice. Then we start to trend a little cooler Saturday, much cooler. So that chilly air is working its way in. Where do we go from there? Well, the European model wants to keep us colder through the middle of next week, which a lot of times the European model tends to do better long range. Let's take a look at the GFS model. Again, we're chilly this morning. It gets a little bit better out west today. Everybody much better tomorrow. Slightly cooler on Wednesday, not bad. Thursday and Friday, 2 of our best days ahead. Saturday, here comes the little bit of a cool down, which we'll feel a lot more on Sunday. But notice the GFS kind of cools us down, but not like the European model does. Now, again, European model usually trends to do a little bit better in the long term here, which would say that we're probably going to be chillier and maybe a little bit of moisture, but I'm not going to say that as a certainty right now here. So forecast models are split though. Really, as I've been looking long range, I don't see a ton of moisture, and I don't see any dramatic drops in temperatures, nothing like this morning's temperatures until probably sometime around the second week of December here. So that's quite a ways out here. We're talking about a month away yet. So, all right, with that, that's all I have for you for today. I want to thank you all for watching on this Monday morning. I'll be back with you on Tuesday with all the latest. Take care and God bless. Bye.